How many? How many? How many? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, what did I get up to?
Jesse Jackson here. We recorded this session on Thursday, first part of June, and at the time we had not heard about Adam West passing. He died a few days later. So I think this is a perfect time to send out this How Many podcast as we discuss Batman movies. But before I get you to our recording, I wanted to share a few personal memories of Adam West and the 60s Batman show. It was, like many kids of my era, a favorite show. I loved seeing Adam West, Burt Ward, Yvonne Craig. It was fun for me. I didn't know it was camp. I just knew it was a comic book hero that I loved being on TV. I was too old to have seen the George Reeves Superman, so I didn't get to see those as a child. Have seen them since then and understand their greatness. But when I think of Batman many times, it is Adam West's Batman. And I love that show. I loved watching it with my mom and dad, and it is truly a significant part of my life. I am glad that I got to see the Adam West documentary talking about him getting a star on the Walk of Fame. I am very honored that I got to talk to Adam for a few minutes at a convention. My only regret is that the great Tom Zoller did a sketch for me that Burt Ward and Adam West were supposed to be at a convention together, and he did a sketch for them to sign. They ended up canceling, and I never was at another show with them, and so now then I won't have Adam's signature on this wonderful sketch that Tom did for me. I'll post the sketch as we release this episode, but it's just amazing. Adam West, you are a hero. I know you are much more than Batman, but to me you are in many ways my Batman, along with Kevin Conroy. So, go to the next life and enjoy meeting all the other people that I know people are waiting for you with open arms to welcome you. Thank you for everything you did, Adam. And here is our discussion with Junior, Bob, of what is the best Batman movies.
All right, welcome to another episode of How Many, your podcast where three guys sit in the library secret location and discuss pop culture.
Not so secret anymore.
Yes. And I am one of your hosts, Jesse Jackson. Joining me today is Bob.
Such low energy.
More energy, Bob. He needs a Snickers bar.
Energy level is low. Mexican Junior, or just Junior, if you really know me well.
And so we recently we had Wonder Woman come out, a huge hit for the DC films.
Critically acclaimed. A lot of people are saying that is one of the best DC comic movies.
Yes.
Doing good box office returns.
And so doing great. But one of the things I thought would be interesting to talk about is Batman films. Batman, to many people, I'm a Superman guy, but I love Batman. But Batman movies have been made a lot. And so I want y'all's. Let's discuss how many great Batman movies have there been.
Are we counting animated in addition to live action?
So I think if you can name the animated movie, it would count. For example, Mask of Phantasm is something I went to see in the movie theater, and it's one of my favorite Batman movies.
And
so
I saw the Killing Joke.
Right.
Who does the Batman voice on those cartoons?
Kevin Conroy is the one that most people know.
And Mark Hamill is the Joker?
Yes, indeed. Yes. Very nice. So, yes, I think if we can name the
And
animated
I think
movies,
we've exhausted Bob's knowledge of Batman
Yes.
animated movies at this
So,
point.
what would you, Junior, let's start with you.
Okay, so just off the top of my head, if I were to think about all of the good Batman movies, I would say there has been 7.
Okay, and Bob?
I'd say 4.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. And I would have probably said 7 too if I had, not done the research. And so we'll start out with, there were a couple of, Columbia Pictures serials, Batman and Robin, they were back in 49. I think I'm going to just discount those.
Lewis Wilson and Robert Lowry acting in those roles.
So we haven't seen that.
I have a quick question. Was there 2 or 3 Christian Bale Batman movies?
There was 3.
Okay.
So that alone...
I'll say 5.
no, it's too late.
No.
That's
that was
not
a
off
good question. No, I will allow it.
Those kind of bleed
You did
together.
over. Yeah.
So your number now is what, 5?
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you could make the argument that's one big movie.
I base mine on who the Batman was.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Batman came out in July 1966. It was the Adam West movie. They took a lot of the actors who were on the TV show. This is the height of Batman Mania. They put together a movie and put it out.
Was he doing the Patoozy in that one?
Yeah, this was one. Someday you can't just get rid of a bomb. I think it's a scene from one of the movies.
Yeah, and there was a lot of villains, not just the one
Yeah.
villain. There was like a
Yeah.
team of villains.
Yes,
yeah.
they had Lee Merriweather played Catwoman. They had Burgess Meredith as
The
the
Penguin.
Penguin.
Cesar
Ramirez
Romero,
as the Joker. The Frank
Gorshin as the
Gorshin as
Riddler,
the Riddler. Yeah.
Very campy. I like it. It's
I-
entertaining.
The two, growing up in the 70s, the 2 shows on syndication that I watched the most was probably Star Trek and Batman, and I love both of them. Batman, all the villains, yes, I'm all the way in.
I would
on
vote for that
original.
as a great movie too.
I wouldn't say great,
But is it a significant? Would you count
absolutely
it as? Okay,
yes. And I thought it was entertaining for what
Okay,
it was at that
okay.
time.
So then you get the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton.
So a
movies.
23-year gap
Right.
between the Adam West Batman movie and the Michael Keaton. So
Right.
obviously there was not enough urgency and draw in that time frame for them to even bother revisiting the Batman idea.
I remember that was a dark time, a drawing time for a lot of superhero movies versus like right now. It's just
Yeah.
every day. Michael Keaton, 1989, Batman, Tim Burton, a lot of discussion like, I don't know, Michael Keaton's biggest role at that time, Night
Mom.
Shift and
Mr. Mom,
Beetlejuice
Gung
and-
Ho.
Yeah, so...
He didn't really seem like the superhero
Right,
type
yeah.
going in.
Yeah, he didn't look like he could fill out the bat suit. He wasn't a big muscle-bound guy
Yes.
that you would see in the comics.
Right. So, would that make your list of...
Absolutely.
I think it's the best of all the Batman movies myself.
Okay, I think that's a debatable topic, but I do agree.
I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's definitely top 5.
I do think there are parts of it that look a little bad now, but overall the movie holds up.
I took my youngest son. I actually both of my sons. They did a re-showing of it on one of those Cinemark deals
Yeah.
about a year or so ago, and that was the first time I'd seen it in a long time. And you're right. There's a couple of points in it. It's like that didn't quite hold up. That didn't quite hold
Yeah.
up. But for the most part, still really enjoyable.
Yeah, and
Nicholson is great.
the Joker. Yeah.
So we all agree on that one.
Yes. So
Okay.
I've got that down. All right. Batman Returns, once again, Michael Keaton, Tim Burton. We have...
Michelle Pfeiffer
yeah,
as the Catwoman.
Yes, and Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Christopher Walken is a throw-in extra villain.
I I did not care for that one as much. I thought it was a little too dark. I would not put that on my
I
list.
liked it. I would count it.
Okay, so
It can actually be argued that it was better than
Honestly,
the first one.
I forgot Michael Keaton even did the second one.
Okay.
I thought he only did the first one.
And we glossed over something because of the PA announcement. One of the best parts of the Michael Keaton Batman movie is the great soundtrack and the Prince song, especially the part that Bob really likes, the Vicky Vale.
all right, so we're gonna kind
And that
of
was
disagree
Pete
there.
Kim Basinger too.
Yes, it was. So we're gonna let Junior count it, and I'm not going to get it, neither Bob. All right, so then we get Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. Is one of my favorite animated movies. The great Paul Dini helped write it. It was originally going to be a straight-to-video, and they were happy enough with it, they released it. I think it's, Kevin Conroy, who is in many people the voice of Batman, because he did Batman the Animated Series. I count that as one of my favorite
I would
Batman
count it
movies.
also.
Okay.
I didn't see it, but I'll take y'all's word
Okay,
for
good.
it.
So then we get to Batman Forever, starring Val Kilmer.
And
Terrible.
I liked that one.
Terrible.
I did not think Val Kilmer was a bad Batman. It wasn't George Clooney level bad.
Okay.
Now, he wasn't the best Batman, but I liked him. I thought he was pretty suave in it. I liked Nicole Kidman as, the female lead.
Okay.
And I thought Jim Carrey was good as the Riddler. I liked Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
I always thought they should have, and they waited too long, but Robin Williams would have been the perfect Riddler.
Yeah. So I will not vote for it, but I understand what you're saying. I do think Carey and Tommy Lee Jones and everything, but I think they're getting off the rails. And then, of course, Batman and Robin, totally off the rails.
Yeah, that one I would not count, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger has a lot of great lines in that
Nice
movie.
to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yes. So that's in 97. We stay away from Batman for a while. Then we have Christopher Nolan coming back with Christian Bale, and the trilogy Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises.
And those were all good.
I would give those all three.
Yes, Dark Knight was good. That one had Ra's al Ghul
Yes.
as the bad guy, which
Yeah.
was Liam Neeson.
Right.
The second one had what a lot of people argue is the greatest villain of all time, actor portrayal in the Joker.
Yes.
For the Dark Knight.
Yeah, he was amazing. Heath Ledger was, and it was hard to beat, because Cesar Romero, while his charm, but he had his mustache that he wouldn't shave off with his makeup
and
on.
Nicholson was such a big...
And that was such a huge actor to do this role. And Ledger truly took... You felt that the Joker was insane.
Very gritty, very different portrayal than Nicholson.
Yeah.
And then The Dark Knight Rises, I would argue that is the best
Bane?
Batman movie with Bane, Catwoman, Anne Hathaway.
Is that the one with the Steelers field exploding?
Yes, where Heinz Field blows up.
Yes, and I thought Anne Hathaway was amazing as Catwoman, and so I love that whole trilogy, and I thought, they stuck the landing. They did a good job of doing that trilogy a lot.
I didn't really like the Batmobile, but that's it.
Oh, yeah. I know. All right, so we move to Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. I liked Ben Affleck as Batman more than a lot of other people did, though there is a little bit of Zack Snyder hangover from people. I love The Watchmen, and so I
like Watchmen too.
I think a lot. So I don't know if that's a great movie, though. I don't know if I would put it...
I mean, I don't think Ben Affleck is the best Batman. I didn't really have a problem with his portrayal of Batman, but the movie in general I thought was kind of silly. And why is Batman even angry with Superman to begin with? The whole storyline kind of soured me on the whole thing.
best part of the movie was General Zod. I love Michael Shannon.
Yeah, Michael Shannon is
good.
lots
And
of shake
I
left.
thought,
The library will close in 15 minutes. Please oh,
just keep going. Keep moving on.
No,
Now-
I'm going to cut this out.
Release your print jobs now to ensure they will be printed prior to closing. The computers and the internet will shut down in 10 minutes.
Now, the General Zod was not hardly at all in Dawn of Justice. I mean, he was a Man of Steel,
Right.
but like only his corpse shows up in Batman.
Oh,
versus
that's
Superman.
right. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
So I mean, I think it's okay, and I do think it's interesting that both their mothers' names were Martha and that connection and such. But I don't know if it's quite there. Do we include Suicide Squad?
His role in that was so tiny. It was just whenever
And what
he
about
was.
that Joker portrayal?
Yeah. I don't know if I love it.
Jared Leto, I thought, did
He
an
was almost
okay
more like
job.
he was a pimp drug dealer
Yes.
character than he was
Absolutely, yes.
a Superman.
And it almost felt like he was trying too hard, like
Yeah, like trying not
to be too over the top.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
But you could see he was trying to outdo Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
That
and I
was the
think if
whole-
you're going to do the Joker, you have to stay away from that very much.
Yeah.
How about the Lego movie?
I love that movie.
Batman.
I thought it was really
Oh,
funny.
I think it would count.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Gobb's portrayal again was really good in that as
Okay.
Batman. Galifianakis was really funny as the Joker.
So I'm going to name really quickly some animated films. DC Comics has put out a fair amount of direct-to-DVD Batman movies, and some of them good, some of them, just mediocre. But I've already talked to Mask of Phantasm, Sub-Zero,
Now, Plain Zero.
Return of the Joker, Mystery of the Batwoman.
The ones I'm familiar with would be Under the Red Hood
But I thought that was pretty
and
good.
the Killing Joke.
Yes. Now, the Killing Joke, pretty controversial.
Yeah, it's actually very
The band sang
violent.
80s?
What?
The band that sang that song 80s?
Yes.
The Killing
80s,
Joke?
Killing Joke, yeah. You don't
Never.
know that?
No, I've never.
Okay.
Very deep cut.
Yeah. Year One was pretty good. The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2 was okay.
Wow, I'm actually surprised that you've watched all of the animated
Yeah, I
versions
did.
of this
Yeah,
too.
because I love. I haven't seen The Killing Joke yet. I know they changed a little bit that.
It's very violent for a cartoon.
Yes, that Barbara Gordon had slept with Batman.
Yes.
Which is kind of
Out of nowhere too. Like it
Yes.
didn't even look like it was
Right.
should even be in the movie. Like
yeah. The Superman Batman Apocalypse was pretty good. Justice League Crisis of Two Earths. I liked the Justice League movies that they've done, but if I'm just looking at core, I don't think most of these would make mine because I haven't seen The Killing Joke. Would you include The Killing Joke?
I would. I
Okay.
thought it was good. It was entertaining.
Okay. So you went with 10.
Wow.
And you had said only 7.
So more than I
Yeah.
actually envisioned.
Bob and I went with 7, which I hit my number directly,
Went
and
over.
Bob with 2 over on you, but I think that's partly because you did that. Are you guys looking forward to Justice League?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think getting all the characters together.
I
good.
like DC Comics kind of copy paste of Marvel's idea of getting all of the characters within the same universe, making everything tie into everything, making all of the DC movies now going forward must watches because you want to see, hey, who's that character? Where did that guy come
My
from?
problem with the DC movies is they're just relentlessly heavy, man. There's no humor at all
Yeah.
in any of them.
That's what.
It's like, make some. I mean, Wonder Woman has a little bit of humor in
Right.
it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why the Marvel movies are so great. You get the Stan Lee cameos, you get the action and the humor.
Well, if you go back to in another discussion, it should have been we could have how many great Superman movies, but like Christopher Reeve in those first 2,
Yeah.
then they kind of went back, but there was a sense of humor. You had Lex Luthor and
Ned Beatty,
Ned
the sidekick.
Beatty
Oh yeah,
is
Otis.
amazing,
Otisburg is the funniest
Otisburg,
bit
yes.
of Superman.
And-
Miss Tex-Mucker.
Yeah.
And in Superman 3, they even mixed in Richard
Pryor?
Pryor
Yes.
to try and
Which
add
was
some
it,
extra.
Was it 2 or 3 where Superman gets drunk and he's flicking the penis?
That's,
Yes,
that's the third one.
That's-
Yes, the third one, yes.
What are you looking at?
Yeah. So just to go around the table, who's your favorite Batman?
Michael Keaton.
Okay.
But Christian Bale was really good too.
Okay.
Mine is Christian Bale because I just think those movies, quality-wise, were superior than the Michael Keaton run.
But I mean, I really enjoy Adam West's.
Yes.
version.
Just for the campiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
what really made the original Batman the humor, but the villains.
Yes.
Just, like Egghead,
Yes, and all
He's
these
like
people.
Vincent Price, and the whole bit is everything is an egg pun.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Extremely,
I think I would lean toward Christian Bale as well, though I do think Michael Keaton was so surprising how well he did that. So Kevin Conroy has voiced Batman in so many animated movies, and he tells a wonderful story that he was right after 9/11, he went to, he said, how can I help? And someone said, well, what we really need help on is helping to feed the volunteers. He said, we've got plenty of people searching rubble and pulling things, but, they get tired and they need to eat and they need to, take a break. And that's where we really need help. And Kevin Conroy goes, I'm an actor. Of course I know how to cook. And so he was working in a aid station that's kind of, for the, a rest station, shall we
The
say.
library will close in 10 minutes. Please make your final selections and use the self-check to check out materials. Release your print jobs now to ensure they will be printed prior to closing. The computers and the internet will shut down in 5 minutes.
So someone went to these firefighters and they said, hey, do you know who's cooking your eggs? No, Batman is cooking your eggs. You're blanking me. No. Hey, Batman. And Kevin Conroy said, he's, at the griddle, and he goes, I am vengeance, I am night, I am Batman, in the voice, and the volunteers just went crazy. There was a lot, and I just thought that was a wonderful story about, he was willing to give out, and then just turned it on immediately, so.
2 questions. First off, who was the worst Batman? George Clooney? Or Ben Affleck?
I would
Val
say,
Kilmer?
for me, it was Clooney. I didn't think Kilmer was bad. And actually, Clooney may be the only bad Batman in my eyes. I think everybody else was fine.
I didn't like Kilmer a whole lot. I didn't hate him. And I felt bad. Clooney had a bad script.
Yeah.
I think if and I do love how he embraces it. He's like, look, I killed a franchise, in an interview once. So I would go with that.
And then the other question is, who never played Batman who you think would have made a really good Batman?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a great question.
You know who comes to mind for me, maybe around the post-Michael Keaton era?
Timothy Dalton?
I think Kevin Costner might have been an interesting Batman.
Pierce Brosnan, maybe?
But he's so British.
If you gave him an American accent, maybe. It would have to be somebody suave, right? Somebody...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That, I
Have to give
can't
that
think
some
of
thought.
anyone right away that would have been great.
'Cause, I mean, like I was talking about earlier about Robin Williams, forever.
Yeah,
All I thought of before they came out with Riddler, like I think after the Michael Keaton movie, I'm like, man, the next movie they need to do the Riddler and it needs to be Robin Williams because he's that perfect manic, crazy.
Right.
And Jim Carrey makes sense too. I mean,
yes,
it's a
at the
similar.
time he was so.
But like from a villain standpoint,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that really, would be a good fit for any of the big villains. I mean, Catwoman, they're chasing us out. So.
Yeah. That's interesting. Good. I think that's. We'll think about that. We're wrapping up because they're chasing us out of our.
Kevin Costner. What would you think of Kevin Costner as Batman?
Okay, let's listen to the show for a while there, Junior. That's great steak. Bob, how can someone reach you if they want to?
I'm at Mexican_Junior on Twitter. No, I am at Lukewarm Tallboy. Interesting story.
Yes. Well, next time. We'll fix it on post.
And then Mexican Junior, Mexican_Junior on Twitter, or Mexican Junior at hotmail or gmail.com.
And I am at Jesse Jackson DFW. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate the support. And we do got to tell you, though, if you don't like us...
Go F yourself.
come to the front desk
Okay,
at this
well,
time.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
Computers and the internet will shut down in 15 minutes, and the iPads are being collected.
You now have 5 minutes to reach minimal safe
Okay,
distance.
so